What is up, ladies and gentlemen, here on M Cubed? Of course, I'm Schmook. And of course, we're going a little bit I don't want to say the unethical route, but definitely the change of scenery. Change of scenery, You know, I think it's fun to do it like this sometimes, I mean, I can read your guys' comments. I'm able to drive perfectly fine. I have stuff that I got to get done after, like when I get home. I mean, of course, if this goes a little long, I'll finish it out in my car and whatnot. But I mean, it's okay. Like even if I get home, I'll still go until we're done. All right. But I just have some stuff I want to get done. Not feeling 100% either, so I just want to make sure you guys get this video. And I hope you can hear me all right as well. So if you're in the chat, say hey. What's up, David? Nice to have you. Nice to have you. But yeah, just let me know if I sound all right for y'all. I know Shit Farmer said what's up, but I don't know if he's still in the chat. I know David is. But yeah, I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday. I'll say that for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun to do it like this sometimes. Sounds fine. All right. Thanks, David. Thank you. Thank you. Always appreciate you letting me know if I'm all right. But yeah, I mean, hope everyone had a good weekend as well. Mine was pretty good. Felt like the weekend before was like top tier for me. So this past one has been, it was fine. Like Friday night was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. With my girlfriend, my friends. I got a little chaotic towards the end of the night, but we got some steak and shake very early in the morning. My friend threw a party earlier in the day, so it was fun. But Saturday was definitely more low key. Didn't really do much at all, honestly. It was kind of just a very tame, very chill day. Went to bed pretty early too. So it's like my weekend went by pretty quick. If I end up falling asleep pretty early on a Saturday, I feel like my weekend just, like, it's gone, Well, that's okay. But of course, yesterday was Sunday, and you know what that means, right? Sunday is Walking Dead Day. It has been in my life since, like eighth grade. Eighth grade. I would go to my buddy's house and go watch The Walking Dead all the time, every Sunday. We'd watch it live, go through the commercials, listen to Talking Dead. But now we're in that streaming era a little bit. We have AMC Plus, so we can watch The Ones Who Live whenever we want without commercials also, which is great. Like that's amazing to me. I could not watch this show if there was commercials. If I'm being honest, like I think the show's great, but like there's not like I couldn't imagine like some of these moments that happen and then like bam, commercial. Like, but I know a lot of people who watch it live have to go through it like that. Yeah. Also, if you're joining the chat, say hey. Say hey. So yeah, yesterday was very tame. Trying to think what I did. Oh, I went to Grant's Farm. It's kind of like a zoo here in St. Louis. It's like a piece of property that Ulysses S. Grant had, and it's like a mini zoo. Has a little tram that takes you around. You see some animals. You can feed some baby goats. And at the end of it all, there's like a little beer garden. It's like an Oktoberfest like dealio. So it's fun. It's always a good time. It was a beautiful day yesterday once the sun came out. Right now it's very cloudy. Very cloudy. So I might run into some rain here, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great weekend. But I guess we can get right into it. So, I like to check in with y'all. You guys are, you guys mean a lot to me. You guys mean a lot to me. And I like to talk about my own shenanigans as well. But anyway, I guess before I get into this, I kind of want to do a little disclaimer of some sort. So, April 15th, 22nd, 29th. Each of those days, I am going to be seeing Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. All right, like the 15th is Spider-Man, 22nd is Spider-Man 2, and the 29th is Spider-Man 3. So I will not be doing CAW on those days because it's at 6:30. I hypothetically could if I'm driving home from work. I can do a quick little thing. But it's up to y'all. I'll see what's going on, if there's anything like big in content going on. But I could just do something on Tuesday, and that maybe when I get my buddy Brad on board, and that's when we're gonna. I think that's when we're gonna go through all the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and I can't wait. I'm happy that they're re-releasing these because I haven't seen them since I was so little. You know, like I don't even remember if I saw Spider-Man 1 in theaters. I know I saw 2 and 3 in theaters. Spider-Man 2 is one of my most vivid early childhood going to the movies. So Spider-Man 2 and Revenge of the Sith were easily two of my most like early memories of going to the theater. Both with my father, of course. So that always holds a special place in my heart. But anyway, I just want to let you guys know that's what will be happening. I'm going to decide if I'm going to do it on that Tuesday or if I'm going to do a little quick thing before I go to the movies, but I don't know yet. But yeah, also I don't know what's really going on at that point because The Ones Who Live is done. We only have one more after this video. So I'll probably talk about Invincible until then, but then I'm probably going to want to talk about the Raimi trilogy. I'll probably go back to like how I was originally, like just talking about like all this old school stuff, you know, because you know how I was going through like all the X-Men movies and shit like that, right? So I'm gonna do that with the Spider-Man trilogy to celebrate this 100 years of Columbia Pictures. All right. So I hope that sounds good to you guys. But yeah, let's get right into it. All right. As David just said, the Wicked Witch is dead. Jadis is gone. It's kind of wild. I definitely I believe I talked about this last week. I could be wrong, where I was pretty positive that she was gonna, no matter what, she was the one who's gonna find them at this cabin, and I really thought no matter what she was gonna die in this episode, because frankly, I think it's what progresses the story the most. So like they might have some sort of. Why is there a cop blocking off the road, man? Fuck me. So I gotta find a new way home, I suppose. I'll figure it out. We'll be Gucci. Anyway. Let me take a quick drinky poo real quick. But yeah, it made the most sense to progress the story because like no matter what, if they want to be safe, they have to go through all this oh sweet. Sorry, this person's letting me through, so I'm gotta pay a little bit more attention. But anyway, that's what progresses the story the most, in my opinion. Because again, no matter what, she has this file or whatever on Alexandria. So of course, I think they potentially could have made it home without doing this, but I feel like it makes the most sense that they have to stop. Like if Jadis dies, which I think they have to kill her because she's too much of a threat to Fudge. Man, sorry guys, I'm just dealing with a lot of nonsense driving home. Not gonna lie, but yeah, no, Mark, for sure. Revenge of the Sith is one of my earliest memories. I mean, I was born in '98, but again, like I know that and Spider-Man 2. Like Spider-Man 2, again, I saw in, what was it, 2004, I guess, right? But it's still one of my earlier movie-going experiences. Like, sure, I saw probably some kid movie. Probably you know, Monsters, Inc. or Toy Story 2. Or, well, maybe not Toy Story 2, because I was like a year at that point. But yeah, no, definitely one of my earliest. That's no doubt about it. But anyway. So Jadis dying progresses the story. She tells Rick that like, hey man, like when you were gonna get back, you're about to continue with your journey. You were gonna get the echelon meeting where the major general was like he was gonna tell you everything. So like he was about to become like one of the high ups at the CRM. I think even more so than Jadis. Maybe even more so than Jadis. So ultimately, it gets to the end. She dies. Well, she gets bit by a walker, so they're like, all right, fuck. All right, so we have to figure this out because she's not going to come back, so we need to get rid of this file, right? You were turning 21 when Revenge of the Sith hit theaters, man. I mean, yeah, I'm a young lad. You know, I'm 25 years old, so it's I grew up with the prequels, so they're like my favorites. But of course, I love the original trilogy, and I'd love to eventually get to. I like my comic podcast. Of course, I feel like I can talk about Star Wars. There's comic books on it, even though it's not originally based. It's not an adaptation of a comic book, but they have comic books. So I'm not against talking about Star Wars at some point in time, occasionally. I love talking Star Wars, but anyway, so Rick's going to get this meeting where he becomes a higher up. So I think, so what they're saying is the plan is that Michonne's going to go with them, or with Rick. They're going to go back to the CRM, and Michonne's going to try to get that file while Rick gets this meeting, and then they have to break out one last time. And that the episode is called The Last Time, right? So it makes sense. Like they have to go through this whole thing and then escape. And I'll talk more about the more fundamentals of the episode, because as David said, we see Father Gabriel again, which I was not expecting. And to see him right away, I thought was nuts. I remember seeing a theory that someone thought it was Gabe at one point, or that Gabe was going to be in the episode. I wasn't really thinking about that. But yeah, no, Gabe was in the episode. It was pretty cool to see Father Gabriel, because I mean, again, he truly became one of my favorite characters within. I think I'll go this way, actually. Oh no, I'm gonna go this way. The person behind me fucking hates me. I'll tell you what. But anyway, but Gabe, of course. Like I think after his like encounter with Negan, and then like he loses his eyesight in his one eye. I think from that point on, I really became a big fan of Gabe. Oh, you're in your boat fishing, shit farmer. Good for you, man. And then what did Mark have to say here? Let's see. That's awesome, man. Like if I could have seen the original trilogy for the first time, that would have been awesome. To be fair, I think I remember I watched the original trilogy of Star Wars first. Because I did not see Phantom Menace, given that I was like a year old when it came out. And then I think it was my dad was probably like, he's probably too young to see Attack of the Clones, even though I probably could have went to see Attack of the Clones. And I was surprised he took me to see Revenge of the Sith, even though I'm like 7 years old or whatever, or 6, about to turn 7 years old. But it's okay. I mean, again, I watched the original trilogy on VHS first, so like that's why I think my dad was like, "Oh, I'll take him to see the new Star Wars in theaters," right? So that's awesome. Oh, and you're door dashing right now, Mark? Hell yeah! Yeah, I need to start getting on that a little bit. I'm hoping for obviously this to start to gain more traction. So I'd love to be paid for this, but also I just love talking to you guys and talking about the shit I love most, right? But yeah, I mean, my job right now isn't like the highest paying thing in the world. I love it, and it'll be nice for whenever I have a kid, because I'm a preschool teacher and I can get free childcare, which is huge. So that'll save me like a couple, like me and my girlfriend did the math. It'd be like $20,000 a year, something like that. So it's like childcare ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. But anyway. But yeah, it was cool to see Gabe. Again, he became one of my favorite characters, especially in like season 11. I thought he was cool. Him and Aaron had a good arc in it. Yeah. You guys might lose me at some point, because I know for some reason on this highway, on my way home, probably should have went another way. But I know I feel like there's definitely a dead zone at one point in time. But it is what it is. But yes, I enjoyed this episode because, again, like, you're feeling that return of Rick Grimes, you know, in some way. Like, he seems to be happier. Like, he's definitely in a better mood. Like, he's getting Michonne like toothpaste, even though he's like so many years late on that. But I love that callback. I thought that was great because that was season 6, like right before they hooked up for the first time, and he finally got her toothpaste. Then he gets her like a gold chain. So it was nice to have that little like gift after gift after gift. And then of course, like Gabriel gave Jadis a wedding ring that Rick wanted, or that because Rick told Gabe like he wanted Gabe to marry them at the bridge, and it never happened. And then once Rick's gone, he finds a wedding ring. He's just been holding on to it this entire time. I really like that idea. Like each year, Gabe and Jadis met up to like just talk a little bit, like be like old friends. Jadis doesn't tell Gabe shit about the CRM really. But then Gabe gives her this ring. And then at the end of the series, like she's still like she has it around her neck, right? And gives it to Rick. So like in this episode, like again, toothpaste to like a gold necklace. I think there was something else in there that he gave her, but then he gives her a wedding ring. He proposes in this episode. So, and I think it would be a beautiful thing, like whenever they get back, the reunions happen, and then Gabe marries them in a church or at like the bridge or whatever. I think that would be so awesome, and I think that'd be such a heartfelt moment. And I'd love it. But of course, if that would happen, then probably shit hits the fan from the CRM, finding where they are somehow. I don't know how, but I see it happen because no matter what, Rick's gonna get this echelon meeting. Michonne's gonna get rid of the like the file on Alexandria, right? But Rick's now gonna be a very high up guy. How is he gonna escape? You know that's gonna be a huge part of like this last episode. So at this point, I'm more intrigued with the last episode. I thought this episode was really good, episode 5. But like, of course, like the highlights are like seeing Gabe again. Jadis dying is actually a pretty awesome major death within the show. We haven't had it in a while. I mean, it's been a while in time wise. Like outside of that, I mean, there's just cool things, you know. Like I liked when they found these nudes. I don't remember what they were called. It was something funny though. It was basically ask for nudes or some shit, you know, like take nudes, like nude photos. I thought it was funny. So that was good. But again, I liked when they met this little group in the forest. They saved them because they're those types of people, you know. They're survivors and they want to make this world a better place and teach that philosophy forward, which has a lot to do with like Morgan to Rick, I feel, and just who they are as people. They're heroes, you know. And of course Rick was just a badass in that scene. Like they pulled a gun on him, and like him and Michonne just beat the shit out of these people even though they have guns on them. And they just take the noodles back, and Rick just says some shit. Like I don't know, Rick's so sassy, and I love sassy Rick. Sassy Rick is killing me. Mark, I shouldn't be streaming while driving. I mean, hey, I'm paying attention to the road. I'm just talking, you know. It's like I'm talking to myself this whole time. And I'll occasionally glance at your guys' stream. So you're naughty for even suggesting I'm naughty. No, but I appreciate you looking out for me. I know. I just have shit to get done when I get home, man. I've been slacking on some shit, but I still wanted to get this out to you. And yeah, David, the guy who plays Ezekiel, I'll do that. The guy who plays Ezekiel is going to be playing T'Chaka in this new Marvel game. It looks kind of cool. I saw some gameplay, like the trailer for it looked cool. I don't think I'm going to buy it, but who knows? If I hear really good things, I might. But it looked interesting, but nothing too crazy for me to be like, oh, I need to buy this game, you know? Excuse me. I don't know, what's your guys' highlights of the episode, you know? Again, I just thought all like the Rick and Michonne stuff was great. The Jada's death and like all of her conversations with Gabe were awesome. But I will say, even though like Jada's dying is a very impactful death, it's a very much so setting up the finale of the show or the season. Who knows if it's a series or a series or season finale? Who knows? But no matter what, this could be the last season of this show. But there's no way in hell it's the last we see Rick and Michonne. You know. So who knows what happens next? They might just do season 2, and then that's where like the reunions happen, or it'll just be some completely new show that they've potentially been filming already. Because I know Daryl comes out this summer, and they're about to start filming on Dead City. So I assume roughly when this is done, based on like how it's received and the ratings and all that, like all that junk, right? We'll probably get an announcement of some sort of when we're going to see these guys again next, right? Let's see. Jada's death, I've wanted that for ages. Yeah, man, I agree. I've always enjoyed the character, though, I will say. I do think Jadis is solid. Has never been one of my favorite characters, but I really liked her in season 9 when she's like, her and Gabe are getting very close, and then like how she saves Rick's life and whatnot, like all that junk. Like, I was starting to like her. Then, of course, like she's kind of a prick in this season. She's always been kind of a weirdo too. But I think the actress gave an awesome performance in this episode as well. So, like for her final episode, she did great. I think she did a really good. I'm out of red light, so don't you guys worry that I'm looking at the camera. You know. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's not that I was let down by this episode, but I really think episode 4 was like such a highlight episode for me. 1 and 4 are definitely my favorite episodes of this show so far, and overall, I think the show's been top notch. This one, I don't want to say this one felt like filler because a lot of stuff happened, but I just there's parts of me just want more. But I do ultimately, I think the finale has to be at least an hour and a half without commercials, I would think. Or I would hope it's 2 hours. Because, like, I don't know how they're going to go through all this shit and potentially have a reunion at the end. I really don't think we get a reunion, like a true reunion in this. But I think the closest thing we'll get is them hearing Morgan on the radio, and that could be, like, the last thing said of the episode. They're driving back home, and they hear Morgan, they can cut the black, and then like, or maybe they have a conversation with Morgan. I would hope they have a conversation with Morgan on the walkie-talkie, but who knows? To me, it's that. I think they ended with no matter what. I think it's the Morgan on the walkie, or I think it's that, or they actually roll up to Alexandria, and it's a very similar thing to when Rick first arrived at Alexandria in season 5, where it's he doesn't say a word, he just listens and he hears like laughing children behind the gates. I hope it's the same thing. I hope it's almost exact same shot and you hear children playing, but in this case it's his children playing, and then it cuts to black. And then we wait for the reunion until whatever the next thing is, whatever the next show is or next season of this show. I think those are the only 2 ways I can see them ending this. No matter what, Rick and Michonne don't die in this episode. It's stupid. They have to make it back home. They are the ones who live. So there's no way to do that. But also, again, I still think that I really think this is like the new Walking Dead prime show, in my opinion. Like, I think this will have a season 2, and season 2 will be where like they have all the old characters back. I think having Gabe in this episode proves that a little bit, that they're not afraid to show old characters. And so it's not just a Rick and Michonne show, because yes, they're the ones who live, but so is all the survivors, you know? And that's the thing, because like, again, we are not the Walking Dead. We are the ones who live. You feel me? All right, so I made it back home, but I'll continue a little bit longer. But, well, actually, I don't know. I think I kind of went through everything I needed to. But I hope you guys enjoy that, my predictions for how this thing ends. But what do you say here, David? Let's see. I agree. I think she's always been annoying, but I think she's a good actress, though, David. I think she's a really good actress. Trying to think if there's anything else I've really missed in this episode. And again, you meet like a new group, kind of. They all die in it. Just a couple of jerk offs, like a jerk off character, like a woman character, and like obviously like the weak character, I'll say. They survived that long, so I mean, whatever. But I think the finale is gonna kick ass, but I just don't know how they're gonna end it because I feel like there's so much shit they have to do. I mean, I just don't see the reunion happening. That's the ultimate thing to me. I just don't. Yeah, I mean, I just watched this episode last night, so I'm kind of like retracing it in my head a little bit, like what's all happened. But I mean, again, we touched on the death. We talked on the Gabe flashbacks, which I thought were really cool. I just love seeing Gabe again. Gabe's a great character. But yeah, Janice died. Rick and Michonne, their engagement's awesome. Till My Last Breath, I Am Yours is so strong. I'm like, Rick, you're such a man. Like he loves this woman so much, man. Yeah, I love that. I like seeing Jadis's paintings of like Glenn and Herschel on that again. That was cool. But yeah, no, David, there's no time for it. Again, even if this next episode is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, I still don't think we get like a true reunion. The only thing again I can see is like they get to Alexandria and it's done. They wait for that until whatever comes next. Or again, like they either run into Morgan on the road or they just hear him on the walkie-talkie and they have like a quick conversation, maybe, and then it cuts to black and it's over. So I just have no idea how they're gonna do this. Or again, it'll just be them driving down a highway and they're finally making it home. But that's it. I think that'd be. I think to me that's gonna make me the least happy, because again I want to either hear Morgan, because Morgan has to find Rick, or they make it to Alexandria and they just do a cool callback to season 5. I think that's the only ways I'm actually gonna be happy. I just don't see how they escape the CRM, and then they're just driving home and it's just like some happy music's playing and then it's just bam, cut the black. I don't think I'd be very satisfied with that. Unless I know for certain, like after this episode's done, like the next day or whatever, they announce what's coming next, when it's coming out, when it's shooting. Because I assume it's about to start shooting. Because again, Daryl's going to come out in like June or July, I think, this year, and then Dead City's like starting to film like next week. So, but all right, guys, I think that's going to do it here. Again, I know I'm recording in my car. It's not the best. But I still think we had a good video, and I think we had some good conversation as always. But yeah, I need to get some stuff done. But again, I wanted to talk about this episode. Could have waited till tomorrow, but again, I've busier week than normal because I'm going out of town this weekend for Easter. So I had to get a lot of other stuff done, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to get this episode out to y'all. And again, it's like roughly how long we filmed it for anyway. I still think I was able to get everything we needed across. Of course, there's more stuff, but like in terms of like predictions, like again, I gave mine. I did feel like this was going to be more of a prediction-based episode. Of course, talking about big moments from this episode 4 or episode 5, but yeah, I mean, who knows? I have no idea what's going to happen. I think I do think the Major General dies, or the new Akifor Thorn, I think is her name. No matter what, I think one of them dies, and then whoever doesn't die is gonna like be like, all right, we have to kill these two and find where they are, and that's what the next show will be, where it's the survivors against the CRM. But I feel like they're gonna go the route of it being Thorn, because then there's more of that personal connection between Rick and her. I think it should be this Major General, or they both live. They could both live, and those are like the two big bads that we're going to be dealing with, kind of like a Hornsby and Milton scenario, but military leaders, right? But yeah, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Share with your friends. And, turn on that notification bell so you know when we're going live. Because, I don't want you guys to miss these streams because I think they're fun. We have good communication. And we're just talking all that good stuff, But all right, guys, have an awesome rest of your Monday, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye-bye.